on both. All right, so I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on Insta. All right, so we are here. All right, guys. Again, this is Naked Sunday, the podcast, and we're talking about sub versus dom, submissive versus the dominant. Now, before we begin to kick it all off, make sure that you have your drink in hand. This is another cocktails over cocktails conversation. What I'm drinking is vodka and Sprite. Super simple, super basic in my little skull cup. So grab your drink and let's get into it. All right. Mm. All right. So first things first, with the sub versus dom conversation, let's get into a little bit of the definition, right? So I have it here. I don't want to turn this too much because I'm live on this as well, right? So the dominant one is usually the protector, the provider, the one who's in charge, the master, if you will, which I really don't like using that word. And then the submissive is the one that takes on the daintier roles, the softer, in comparison to the dom, the baby girl, the princess, right? Right. So that's the dom versus sub right there, right off the bat. That's the first thing. Now, when you're getting into a relationship like this, trust is key. You have to trust your partner 100%, and that goes for both roles. The dominant one in the relationship is usually the more masculine gender, whereas the submissive is usually the more feminine. And I don't even want to say gender. It could be because if you're in a same-sex relationship, then it's going to be the more masculine of the two of you versus the more feminine of the two of you, right? And then I also want to note that this is coming from a bisexual point of view, not necessarily a hetero or a homosexual perspective. All right. So for me, when it comes to being with a man, I'm usually the more submissive one. And when it comes to being with girls, I'm usually the more dominant one. I like my girls very nice and neat and dainty and does whatever I say. Okay. Now, in order for you to be the dominant one in the relationship, your submissive or your partner has to trust you completely for them to want to be your pet, right? And for me, I find that in order for that to happen, you have to submit to them first. You have to show them that they can open up to you, prove that they can, be safe with you and comfortable with you enough to let them guide and lead and control. Now, it's more natural for women to be submissive, but where this is something that mainly happens in the bedroom. Outside of the bedroom, it can, come into play where the man is the more masculine, where he takes charge. He's 100% controlling the bills, controlling work, controlling money that comes in, controlling money that goes out, controlling everything under the sun. And you just there living in your divine feminine energy all day, right? And that's one thing. You also have women who are CEOs, who are bosses, who run their own corporations, who have their own businesses, who have to manage multiple people under them. So when it comes to real world, like real life energy, they are the more dominant ones in those situations. So a lot of those women love being able to drop that guard, right? And be submissive to their partner at home. But that's only going to happen if they trust you enough for that to even take place, right? Now, again, in order for you to be the more dominant one in the relationship, for your partner to submit to you, you have to make sure that you aren't leading with anger. You're not leading with disrespect. You're not yelling and or talking over or talking down or gaslighting your person. You have to make sure that they feel safe. They feel safe, they feel protected, they feel guarded. They feel like, okay, at the end of the day, I can come home to this person and be okay. right? You also want to keep in mind that even though, yes, you are the dominant one and this person is the submissive, and that is the role that you two are playing, there are times when the roles can reverse, right? And it's not just during sex, it's not just, it could be, well, sex as well, where the more feminine one does take on the more masculine dominant role, right? It's you have to be okay with letting your guard down as the dominant one sometimes and allowing your person to help you and comfort you and guide you however you may need that person to, right? Um, what else do I have here? um, Oof, it's getting hot. So let me wave to some people while we're here on the live. Oh my gosh, this eye is bothering me. But yeah. And then if you watched my live from last week, we were talking about poly relationships. And one person said that they are the master in their relationship. And with that, if you have multiple women or multiple partners that you're in a relationship with, you want to make sure that, again, that you are not just my house, my rules, do as I say. They have to feel protected. Everybody has to feel like there is respect going both ways in the relationship. It can't just be I'm the man, so you have to listen to me. That's not how it works. If you desire being the dominant one in the relationship, you have to prove, you have to show that you can manage that role without getting hot-headed and having an attitude every time something wrong happens in your life, right? You can't rule and put that in quotes with fear, because as soon as you do that, you no longer have someone who's submissive, you now have a slave. And I really hate using that word, but when you think of the dominant and the submissive um, aspects, dom sub relationships, that is how it comes off, like a master and a slave. And there are some women who are like, you know what, I just want to sit here and be here and have you do everything. Like, tell me what to do, tell me what to wear, tell me where to go, tell me what we're doing. And that is completely fine once you both have respect for each other, you have respect for yourself. Now, we talked a lot about the dominance, so let's talk now about the subs. Now, if you want to be a good little subby, a good little bunny, right, you first have to have respect for yourself. You have to be confident within yourself. You have to know what you also bring to the table. You have to know that without you, the relationship is not going to work, right? You have to also keep in mind that the same way your dominant partner has to, you have to trust your dominant partner also has to trust you. While you're giving pretty much free reign on what happens in the relationship, you have to also be able to speak your mind and let your partner know, your dominant partner know what you're okay with, what you're not okay with, so that they can know how to lead better. Okay. So it's not just you being a mindless doll. You have to also know what you want outside of the relationship. Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to like the perfect dom sub, or if you're trying to meet someone in that aspect, trying to get into that sort of relationship, make sure that you have conversations like this in the talking phase before you even start dating. Have conversations about their work-life balance, have conversations about ex-partners that they've had, things that they've tried, things that they want to try, right? When you do get into the relationship now, you want to make sure that the same conversations that you were having in the beginning, you're still having conversations, but you're making sure that you're having conversations that are going to build your relationship up. make it even stronger, because people evolve, people change, people want different things over time. So don't be afraid to, like I said earlier, to speak up and let your partner know what it is that you want to do going forward or currently in your relationship. Whew. Let me wave to the people. So there are a few people who are in here. There are a few people I think jumped out. If you guys have any questions for me, please ask the questions. I was just rambling for what, a whole 10 minutes. So, oh, thank you, babes. So let me know if you have any questions on this topic about being submissive or being dominant. Please, if you're drinking, let me know what you're drinking. You know, chime in. The whole point of doing these lives is so that we can better, we can communicate with each other. You know, you feel me? My notifications just came up. Give them a few. I'll give them a few. We have a whole 50 more minutes to go. So, killer vibes, dominant. What about being dominant? What do you want to know about being dominant? Or do you have a question? Do you have a statement to make? What about dominance? Also, this relationship style is not for everyone. This relationship style can also switch to where the woman is more the more dominant one and the man is the more submissive one. I From what I've noticed, relationships like that don't tend to last as long. Relationships like that tend to, waver, because after a while, as a woman, we are naturally more feminine. We are naturally softer. Like, it's in our nature to nurture. So if while we're out in the world living this CEO boss chick life, and then we come home and still have to be this CEO boss chick, it weighs on us and it gets frustrating, and I sound to get bun because because if I'm doing all this work inside and outside, then where's the we're at the end of the day, when do I find peace? And that's why I also said that when it comes to, let me see what's happening on YouTube. Hold on. When it comes to the same dom sub relationship, what are you seeing on here? When it comes to the same dom sub relationship where the masculine is the dom and the feminine is the submissive, it's also important that the dominant one be able to submit, right? So that they can shed that exterior, that macho-ness, that aggressiveness, and just be nurtured. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. We've been on for now 13 minutes and 18 seconds. I think I'm going to pin a product. So I have a bunch of products that I made lately with the term yes, daddy. It's like my new favorite thing. Yes, daddy. And when you've found the right person who you do want to submit to, all you want to say is yes, daddy. Like, you want to do everything to please this person because this person is making you so happy. This person is making you feel so comfortable. This person is allowing you to rest in your divine feminine energy. This person is allowing you to be the princess that you've always wanted to be. This person is willing to do anything to make you happy. So in turn, you want to do anything to make this person happy. Did I just say the same thing twice? You you want to submit, you want to please, you want to be praised, and you want to praise them, you want to worship and be worshiped, if that makes sense. Yes. And this is like high key, like a kink thing, like it's super, BDSM-y, but this also applies to my vanilla babes out there. Like, it's okay to have, and this is actually probably stemmed from the vanilla world and just gotten more kinky, right? Because in the 50s, 60s, back in the them days there, the man would be out, make the money, come home to the wife who's, making the home, taking care of the kids, all this blah 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 blah. I think what's changed mainly, outside of the fact that women are now dating men that they actually like and actually want to be with, women are now working jobs and having careers that they weren't allowed to have back then. So now it's become a thing where the men want someone who is softer in nature, or they want someone who's sterner because they're so, especially the older men. I noticed this with a lot of older, like significantly older men. They want women who are going to dominate them because they are going home to this boring, basic, vanilla household. So they want something or someone who's going to spice up their life for them. So they want to be the submissive ones while their feminine partner is the more dominant one. And that's okay too. So yeah, if you're a guy who likes to submit, that's cool. Kudos to you. you know Big Vibes earlier said that he likes to be the more dominant one. That's cool, that's pretty normal, you feel me? But it's good to be able to switch the roles and be able to confide in your person and submit. People are just rolling in. We've been live now for 16 minutes. Oof. And I'm getting hot under all these lights. And I low-key have a different setup. I'm actually sitting on the floor today with everything in the back. Yeah. Yes, you did tell me. So I'm probably gonna have to say everything I said all over again for the people who did not hear me. Too cute to be on the floor. Girl. Hmm. But yeah, I told you that it just gets started after an hour. Oh, I'm not. I'm not logging out and then logging back in. I'm not doing that. So y'all need to get on here. Y'all need to be on time. Okay. Yeah. No. But yeah. Hi, Sheenykins. Whew. Are any of you in a Dom sub relationship, whether it be very vanilla or very kinky? Does it overlap outside of the bedroom and into your everyday life? That is the question. A lot of people, a lot of relationships, a lot of couples, it does overlap into their everyday lives. Thank you, Sheens. A lot of people, it does overlap and go into their everyday life. They do have the man who goes out and he makes predominantly more money, which we all know that men in the workforce do make more money than women, but that's like a whole other conversation. We're not getting into that right now. But but yeah, for the fufa, what am I saying? Good evening from Jamaica. Hi, Miss Travels Country to Town. How are you? Yeah, but what was I saying? The culture, they have the dom sub in their outside world. Yeah, is bringing in the bulk of the income. The woman is, either homemaker, housewife, or something like that. There are cases where the woman is making more money than the man, and she is the more dominant one in the relationship. And if that's the case, and if that works for you, kudos. But like I said earlier, if you missed that part of the live, that can cause a strain on the relationship. If Because again, women are naturally more nurturing, especially when it comes to being in relationships. Um, so they do want to rest in their feminine energy, no matter the facade or whatever they portray in real life. They do want to be babied and pampered and princessed down to the ground. Um, in those vanilla relationships as well, the men do sometimes, especially the older men, and I said this earlier, especially the older men, they do enjoy being dominated, right? In the bedroom, like in the boardroom, like they're in control, they're in charge. It's the same thing with women. You have the CEOs, you have the Fortune 500 company runners, you have the entrepreneurs, you have the people out there who are making their own money, the artists, the entertainers, all these people, and they are being this masculine or this dominant persona in the real world. And then when they go home, they just want to submit, they want to relax, they want to be catered to and pampered. And you can still be a dom and be catered and pampered to by your submissive, but the submissive also wants to be catered and pampered too. You feel me? So, and I was saying this earlier, if you're trying to get that type of relationship going where you're controlling what's happening in the situation, if you're a man trying to date a woman, or a masculine woman trying to date a more feminine woman, I posted a reel earlier where the girl was like, this is why I don't link up with you guys, because everything is, what are you doing? Where are you? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's never, okay, I'm picking you up at 8, be dressed. It's never, we're going out at 3 o'clock. It's never, meet me here at XYZ. It's always, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not making a plan. You're not showing the person that you're trying to be with that you are in control, that you are this masculine person, that you are this dominant person. You can't, what are you doing this person every single day, and then expect them to just jump up and be like, yes, I'm yours. That's not how it works. You can't be nonchalant every day of your life in the relationship and just think that, oh, I'm the man, so you're supposed to. No, that's not how it works, right? You have to do certain things that's going to make her want to do certain things. You feel me? And like I said before, trust is very important. Respect is very important. This person has to trust you in order for them to want to submit to you. This, you have to respect this person, right? Even if you're doing the nastiest of things in the bedroom, at the end of it all, right? You have to respect this person. And if they have boundaries lined up, like, listen, we can do this, but I'm not comfortable doing that. We can do that, but I'm not comfortable doing this. You have to respect that. And that in turn is going to make them respect you and want to submit to you even more. You feel me? You catch my drift? If you catch my drift, say something. If you catch my drift, send some heart thingies or some flame thingies. Yeah. That's fire in sign language. If you didn't know, now you know. But yeah, there is no way you could want someone to be submissive to you in your relationship if you're not respecting them, if you're not making plans and following through, if you're not giving them a reason to want to submit to you. If every time you're upset, you get, what am I looking for here? If if every time you get upset, you'd start to degrade the person, things that you two have done, you choose to throw it in their face and call them nasty and all these types of things, it's going to make them not want to continue with the relationship. It's going to make them look at you in a different type of light, like, okay, where is this coming from? What is happening? No. So the next time you request something from them, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be a, No, I'm good. You can do that on your own. You can find someone else to do it. You feel me? So you have to respect your person. You have to, thank you, Stephanie. You have to respect your person. You have to have boundaries and respect those boundaries. And you just go from there. And it all stems from trust and communication. And that's with any relationship at all, period, point blank. If there is no trust, it not gonna work. If there's no communication, it not gonna work. If, and when I say communication, I don't mean, again, I don't mean talking down to the person. I don't mean, yo, I'm listening, I'm talking, shut up. I don't mean like, you guys have to know. I'm sorry. I almost kicked you out the live. I'm sorry. I was trying to wave at you. You And then if you're with someone who is the more dominant one, the one who's making sure that all your needs are being fulfilled, everything you could possibly ask for and wish for, you're getting, there's nothing that you lack in your relationship, but you still feel like, yes, it was very funny. I'm sorry. You still won't even reciprocate in a way that that they would appreciate. That's kind of selfish and kind of one-sided, and you're not being a very good subby. You feel me? You have to know what it is that your dom enjoys, so that you can, when you fulfill those wishes or try to fulfill those wishes, they know, all right, so I did this and this is the reaction that I got, so I should do more of this. Right? When it comes to you two in the bedroom, it's your own rules, is whatever you two decide to do, or you three or four or five or six. You feel me? Is whatever you guys decide to do. But in outside of the bedroom, in the real world, you want to make sure that, and also in the bedroom, you want to make sure that that respect is there, right? And that trust is there. Thank you very much, Sheenie. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the gallery so far? Anybody confused about anything that I've said so far? Anybody disagree with anything I've said so far? On both YouTube and here on Insta, people are agreeing. People are like, yeah. But I want to know, are there any disagreements? Is there anybody out there who's had, oh, I almost removed this other person. I'm sorry. Um, is there anybody who's ever been in a situation like that? Not the vanilla type, not the dom sub vanilla. You feel me? Where, oh, well, even that too. Have you ever been in a situation, right? Sexual or non-sexual, where you have a dominant partner who makes all the rules, makes all the money, does everything right, tells you where to go, what to do, and you've been the submissive where you're like, yes, daddy, anything you say. Have you ever been in a situation like that? And how do you feel about calling someone daddy? Because I call my father daddy. So it's, I don't know. It's not the first thing that I would call my partner, but I get the allure. I get the wants, the pleasure. Don't call me daddy. Why would you not want your person to call you daddy? What's so, you know? Yeah. Like I said, for me personally, I get it because I call my father daddy, but like I said, I also get the allure, because if this person is doing everything and all you want to do is please this person in return, daddy don't seem, you know, daddy don't seem that bad. So let me know. I barely put any vodka in this drink. You know what? I'm proud of myself. I've been working out, and alcohol makes you bloated. I learned that the hard way. Yeah. But we're talking about doms and subs. And then I feel like with the whole Dom sub dynamic, the whole Dom sub universe, the whole Dom sub relationships, I feel like TV and porn and 50 Shades of Grey has made it something that is more perverse. Is that the word I'm looking for? Than what it really is? Hola, Manny. Is that the word I'm looking for? More perverse, more like over exaggerated, more of what it's not in the real world. Because when you watch TV and you read these books and I'm good, babes. When you watch TV and you read these books and you hear these stories, I'm doing very well. It gives the idea that every night you're in shackles, or every night you're having this tantric sex, or every night you're being tied to a wall, or you're getting your tampon pulled out in an elevator, or so in real life situations, in real life scenarios, is this really what is happening? Is this how we view submissives and dominance? Or is it a little bit more gentle? Yes, I know there are people out there who are over the top and they are extreme and they will do and can do, because it's their relationship, whatever it is that they want to do. But I don't think every day is like that. I don't think every day is sex parties and cocaine on the table and orgies and all these things. I feel like, or would like to believe, that in these sub-dom relationships, that sometimes they just enjoy being in each other's presence and just relaxing and winding down and having a drink together and talking about each other's day and having actual sensual intimacy, actual like romantic, love song or play type of sex. It's not just this erratic, over the top type of thing every single night. And if I'm wrong, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. That's all I want to know. Thank you for joining. I keep trying to hit wave and it keeps trying to kick people out of the live. And I apologize. But yeah, talk to me, people. Have you ever been in a sub dom relationship? And for the people who are just joining, or the people who missed it earlier, right? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about subs and we're talking about doms. A romantic and sexual is subjective. Foot upon head is romantic. No, it is not. Exactly. I don't think it's whips and chains all the time. Exactly. I don't think so either. And foot upon head is not romantic. I do not want, and thankfully, I have never had anybody put their foot on my head. That's very much tantric. That's very much aggressive. That's very much, see, to my girl, it is. That's not romantic. Empress, to your empress, your foot on her head is romantic. Yes, romantic and sexual, very subjective, because it depends on, you know, what the person likes. That is very true. But a foot on the head does not romance make. I think it's the other way around. Her foot on his head. See, I could get that because it's so close to the shoulders, right? So I could see that. But in a world where, well, unless when she's giving head, his legs are so high up in the air that it touches her head. I'm not trying to put your business out there, but outside of that, I don't see how you standing on the top of my head is romantic. I don't mean literally standing on my head. I mean, like, I'm assuming it's just one foot while you're up and you're doing this, and it's just a foot on her head. No, hitting it from the back, then put your foot on her head. No, no, don't do that. That's not romantic. that's that's not giving. That's very sexual, very, very, very sexual, and I love that for the two of you. But romance, it is not. Sexual, it is. Oh God. She will cuss if I don't do it. You know what? Your girl is just super kinky. That's what that is. You got yourself a super kinky girl, and I am happy for you. I am proud of the two of you. But don't put your foot in on my head. It's not. It's not giving. Like Sheeny said, it's not giving. Mm-mm. Oh gosh. And you know what? It does tie into the conversation that we're having. It does tie into the Dom sub dynamic. Because if she is the submissive one in the relationship and she wants to do anything to please you, then yeah, you feel me? That does make sense. Where she's like, yes, daddy, even though you say don't call me daddy, that's how it's going to come into play. Yeah, guys, you too. Jermaine Gaskin said, what's the topic? Food? It can be if you want it to be. But the topic is sub versus dom. Is that what I have it on YouTube? I think I have it dom versus sub on YouTube. But either way, the topic is submissives and dominance and correlating the two as far as relationships go. You feel me? Yeah. But yeah. We are now 38 minutes into the live. We have about 22 minutes left to go. So if you guys have any questions, now would be the time to throw them out there. I don't need another drink, but I would like another drink. My drink is done. My king, Slim Papa, baby, or my name, no daddy. I already have a daughter. Okay, I can see that. I can see that where the whole daddy thing might not work for you based on you having a child who more than likely calls you daddy. So I get that. I get that completely. Sheenie, you don't like Slim Papa? Oh gosh. But yeah, so even with what he's describing about the foot on the head thing, it leads back to the first thing I was talking about with trust. If there's no trust in the relationship, that's not going to happen. Like, I can't see myself doing that with my partner. But if it comes a point in the relationship where dynamics switch, where, because like I said, people evolve and people change and people want different things and yada, 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 it could happen eventually, where I might want that, or the person might want that, or whoever might want that, because the trust has developed to another level. So if the trust isn't there, then a lot of these things that we're talking about, or lots of the things that we want to try or want to do with our submissive or dominant partner, is not going to happen. Trust is going to be the key. Mhm. Kissy face, how are you, my love? Happy New Year. I am good, Samuel. Happy New Year to you as well. Whew. But yeah, we are submitting and we're being dominant. And I keep trying to wave to people and it keeps trying to kick them out of the live. I apologize for that. But yeah, subs versus doms. Okay. Foot per head is not something you ask, it's something you do, then talk about it after. No. And see, if no. For me, it's all about communication. You have to tell me these things before we try it. In the talking phase of the relationship, you have to be like, all right, have you done this? Have you tried this? Nope. Not over here. Not in my cabinet. Not today, not tomorrow. We'll talk about it in 2024 and then go from there. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I have a question. I once heard a guy say that he sucks his girl's toes. Isn't that supposed to be disgusting? I mean, people walk all over with their feet. Okay, so with that, right? The whole toe sucking thing. You're not doing this when they're like fresh out of shoes and socks. Like that's you're not doing this after they just walked through the entire house or they were outside barefoot. You're doing this after a shower. You're doing this after a shower. You guys are getting ready for bed probably, or even if you're not, like, but the foot is predominantly clean when you're doing that act. And then you also have to remember that with certain sexual acts, right? Whether you deem it sexual or not, you're pretty much in the moment. So that's probably how the foot plant head thing would come into play. You're in the moment, you're enjoying each other, you're doing certain things. So if a foot is up here by your shoulder and you choose to suck the toe, it just happens. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It just, it is what it is. You can't, you know, necessarily knock somebody for liking something that they like, but you're also not going to just put it out there like, oh yeah, you know, it just happens. It's one of those things that just happens. A foot ends up in the mouth. And if you've tried it before and you enjoy it, then again, in the talking phase of meeting your new person, you're like, hey, I did this. And have you ever done it? Would you like to try it? And that's what that is. Hi, love. I'm your new guy. Sir. Log out. But I'm your new guy. What kind of new guy, David? Sure. Anyways. And then that's a whole other thing too with the dom sub thing. Like a lot of the things that we do sexually with our partners can be considered something that you only do if you're the more dominant one and they're the more submissive one, right? So the whole toe sucking thing, that can go either way, whether you're the guy or the girl. Because there are some guys who probably won't, but there are some girls who would enjoy doing it because they know that it brings a certain sensation and they want to please their man in every way possible. Put her foot in your mouth while you're hissing it and see what happens. And that is a fact. Okay, I just wanted to hear your thoughts. Never did it and never will. And that's okay. That's okay, Jermaine. You don't have to ever do it. But for the people who do it, we know why. Any other questions from the gallery? We're now 45 minutes into the live. We have 15 more minutes to go. If you have any questions, now would be the time to send them in. If you are just joining the live, we are talking about sub versus dom. I've said this now 20 times throughout the live. The people that say they will never do it will for sure do it. That is not true either. You need to stop bait people in a things. That's what you need to do. Stop bait people in a things. Well, hello, DJ H2. How are you tonight? You have joined the live. This is Naked Sunday, the podcast on a Monday. And we're talking about subs versus doms. And one of the first things that I mentioned was trust. You have to trust your partner in order for a relationship like this to work. Yes, very litty in the city. Oh my goodness. It's getting kind of hot though. I'll say that much. Yeah. One of the first things I also mentioned was that in order for your partner to submit to you, you have to submit to them, or you should submit to them so that they know that it's okay to open up. It's okay for them to be comfortable. So are you sub or dom? I am both. It just depends on the day. It depends on the mood. It depends on everything. I am both, okay? Which I believe is like the perfect combination of the two. If I wanted to be submissive, I could. If I wanted to be dominant, I could. This was entertaining and informative. I will tune in again. Thank you, Sheenykins. Loved having you, babes. Have a great night. We're logging off in like 12 minutes anyways. So yes, thank you for chatting it up with us. But yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit of both, especially when it comes to women. I'm definitely more the dominant one. I like my girls nice and dainty and feminine. Dom to woman and submissive to men. Exactly. Exactly. She said it right there. Love you, Sheens. Yeah. Who is a bully? I am not a bully. Good night, everyone. Off to the fridge for a snack. Happy New Year, kissy face. Thank you so much, Jermaine. Thank you for joining the live. Appreciate you always. Hey, Shan. How are you, darling? Fun fact, the sub is the real dom because nothing can happen without them. The sub is the real dom because nothing can happen without them. Can anything happen without either one? Because if you're both submitting, I mean, things can happen. And if you're both dominant, things can also happen. I feel like if you're both dominant, it's going to be more more gashy, more spicy, more like a power grab. Like, okay, no, I'm on top. No, I'm on top. No, I'm on top. No, I'm on top. And if you're both submissive, then it's like, no, do this. No, you do this. No, you do this. No. Imagine two pillow princesses. Like it not gonna work. Like, so nobody not gonna eat nothing. Like we're just gonna lay here and bump coochies. Like, so there needs to be balance. And this is coming from my Libra Venus. There needs to be balance. You need to balance the two. So there has to be a dom. Things can't happen without the dom. Same way things can't happen without the sub. That's a fact. Yes, it is a fact, Milo. It's a fact. But yeah, I feel like for any good sub dom relationship, there has to be balance. There are going to be, or there should be days where the more dominant one becomes a little bit more submissive and the more submissive one becomes a little bit more dominant. Like I believe it wasn't Shan who said it. It was Miss Magnificent. Yes, Miss Magnificent said it. She's dominant with men, but no, dominant with women, but submissive with men. Because in general, the more masculine of the two is the more dominant one, right? And then when it comes to women, women are more nurturing. They're naturally nurturers, which makes them the more submissive ones. Unless, again, you're in a real world scenario where the woman is a CEO, a Fortune 500 company owner. She has her own business. She's controlling multiple people. She's a manager of a blockbuster. I don't know, something. But in her real world experience, she is the more dominant one. So when she goes home, she does want to be a little bit more submissive. Keep in mind that in this real world scenario, being submissive doesn't automatically mean, oh, I just worked a 70-hour shift. I need to come home and cook and clean and wash and change pampers and all these things, right? If you both work and you both work really hard and you're both paying the bills in the household, right? I would think that you're outsourcing certain activities and not just having a pet that comes by that you two have fun with, but someone who does the cleaning for you, the cooking for you, the nannying and the daycaring and the picking up of the kids for you, right? So that the two of you can enjoy each other. There was a post I posted earlier where the girl was like, she's about to wake up her man who doesn't ask her to split anything 50-50, who pays all the bills, who doesn't question her, who does this and that, this and the third, da 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 da, yada yada yada. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but are you working as well? And if you are working, then how much are you working? And if you're working just as hard as he is, then where is the balance? It's the sub's choice to be dominated without content. The dom or master has no power. That's what I mean. Without consent. I think that's what you meant to write. It's the sub's choice to be dominated without consent. The dom has no power. That's true. That's true. But same can be said in the reverse. Because if I'm naturally submissive and I want to be dominated, but my partner isn't the dominant type, it not gonna work. Because in all reality, not everybody wants the dom sub dynamic, which would, still allude to your points where if the submissive does not want to be dominated, then it's not going to work. But if the submissive wants to be dominated and the person that they want to be dominated by doesn't want to dominate, then it's not going to work either. So it still goes both ways. Whew. We have about 3 minutes left on the live. So again, if you have any questions, shoot them through to me. Send me whatever it is that you want to send me now before we log off. You feel me? Ooh, I'm getting hot, getting super, super hot. And even with that whole even with the whole sub dom thing, again, it's a conversation to be had before you actually jump into the relationship. Or again, it's something that after a while you could choose to be like, hey, why don't we try this? And this is where the trust part is going to really come in. Because if they don't trust you enough to be like, let's do this, then it's never going to happen. You feel me? If you two don't have proper communication skills, like if you can't go through a conversation without it getting wild, then it's not going to work, because somebody's always going to look at somebody as the lesser, and you being the dominant one while your partner is being submissive, or vice versa, or whatever the case is. Even if you are being dominant and they're being submissive, or vice versa, or whatever the case is, you cannot look down on that person as lesser than. It still has to be equally balanced. You both have to understand what you both bring to the relationship. You both have to be on that same wavelength for it to go the way it's supposed to go. This person just asked, I heart Cherry Blue. How often do you go live? This is actually my first YouTube live. This is my 4th Instagram live. But I typically go live on Sundays. Yesterday was just a very bad day for me. So we didn't go live yesterday, but once a week to answer your question. How often do I go live? Once a week. The timer just came on and we now have 1 minute and 50 seconds to go. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them over. Today's live was not sponsored. I was just me and you chilling and drinking and enjoying each other, talking about being submissive and being dominant. If you missed anything, I will be saving this live. I will try to save the audio for the podcast, which is Naked Sunday. The podcast, you can find it wherever you stream podcasts, usually also up on YouTube. But because I went live on YouTube, I probably won't have an edited video for YouTube. It's just going to be this live that you're watching right now, and I'm going to save this live so you can watch it, or whoever missed it can watch it in the future. But yeah, I want to thank everybody who was on the live, everybody who participated. I see the hearts going up. Thank you so much. I want to thank you guys for talking to me. I love interacting with all of you. This has been amazing. Like I said, I'm going to save the live. If it doesn't end up being saved on YouTube, follow me on Instagram at Kissyface, KISSYFVCE, and that's where you'll see the full clip. You'll see everything that was said, everything that happened. All right, we're out in 15 seconds. But you guys, again, until next time, peace sign and kissy face. Bye. Oh, I didn't end this one. I'm sorry. End stream. End.